The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
My name is Jasmine, and I am a recovering drug addict.
My name is Richie Farrell, a.k.a. the Old White Junkie.
And we are your hosts for Exit Team Nashua.
Our mission is to bring recovery into the living room.
Last year, over 72,000 Americans died of an accidental overdose.
That's almost 200 Americans every single day.
We will bring you guests with real-life experiences with addiction and recovery. Welcome to Exit Team Nashua. Hi, welcome to Exit Team Nashua. My name is Jasmine, and I am your host. Exit Team is a show that brings people with real-life experiences with addiction, trauma, or anyone that has resources to offer. And the goal is that we bring recovery into the living room. I'm really excited about tonight's guest. We have, Vivacious Victoria, who's really nervous. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
She's gonna kill me. A little bit. But I told her not to be, so it's all good.
Did the trick.
Yes,
Did the
right?
trick.
I knew it. I knew it would. When I first started doing the show, I had the honor and privilege of shooting the show with Richard Farrell, who has a lot of experience in the industry. And so he used to always make fun of me for being nervous, and it would help me stop being nervous. So that's what I'm trying to do to you. I'm making fun of you for being nervous in hopes that it will help you get over it. Also putting you on blast.
Love that for me. Love that.
Well, you're just crazy enough to come on the show.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
In my program, I was taught that you don't say no, and it's not about you. So this is me here trying to send a message to whoever needs it watching this.
A message of what?
Of hope, of faith.
For what?
For recovery.
Recovery.
For a better way of life.
So are you a person in recovery from substance use disorder?
I am.
You are? How long have you been in recovery now?
So I just got 11 months yesterday.
What? No way.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
11 months is a really long
I feel
time.
it snuck up on me.
Yeah.
When looking back, I feel like it hasn't been almost a year already. It's crazy.
There are a lot of people, unfortunately, that will die trying to reach 11 months of sobriety. That's really beautiful. Congratulations. How did you do it?
Well, I felt enough pain.
You did.
To where I didn't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the gift of desperation from that pain. And I was just willing to literally do whatever it took to get this right this time.
Mm-hmm. And so with that pain and willingness and courage, because obviously you didn't continue on living life the way that you were, right? So what shifted in your life? I hear what shifted internally, but what things did you start doing to be able to maintain long-term sobriety?
So for one, I stopped fighting. I stopped fighting with everybody.
That is so boring.
Because all I did was I fought every treatment center I went to, or any suggestion.
You did? No way, dude. You broke rules.
any suggestion thrown my way immediately was no. My way works, always does. So I would tell myself, but I finally sat down and shut up and listened to what was told of me.
Mm-hmm.
Did everything that was told.
Did you go to
me.
treatment this time?
Yeah,
you did. You went
did.
to treatment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you in treatment for?
I was in treatment for 90 days.
Okay.
I went to a PHP. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Graduated from the PHP.
What?
Moved into sober living for my first time. I would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Refused. I did it this time. So glad that I did. It's definitely helped me out a lot. Now, eventually I will obviously move out, but now, I think about when I move out and I'm it's going to be so quiet. It's just going to be so weird.
It's so great.
Yeah, I bet.
So great.
I'm just used to women surrounded by women all day, every day.
I did sober living for the first couple years.
Yeah.
To the point where it became bad for my recovery.
Yeah. I feel maybe a year and a half max. I'm getting to that year, so.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, you're getting to a year. So you went to sober living.
Yeah, I went to sober living. I picked up a sponsor. I utilized that sponsor. I took into consideration like everything she would tell me, even if I didn't agree, or if I didn't want to. I would do a lot of things that I like didn't want to do. You know, like look inward, own my part, clean my side of the
That's pretty gross.
street.
That's
Yeah, so
disgusting.
gross. Like still so gross. But like those are the things, right, that like keep me clean.
Yeah.
And like it's needed for the life that I live now, like the beautiful life that I live. And like with that, like I'm so grateful to like have these human experiences, to like feel icky, to like still do, you know, not the best of things sometimes. But like now I'm able to see the lesson in those things. So it's like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, pain is a part of being alive.
Yeah.
You know, so yesterday I'd made plans to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning this morning and go hiking. And someone was like, well, it's going to be snowing and it's going to be cold. And I was like, I know. Like, that is the beautiful struggle of getting up a mountain. And then I got up and it was really icy and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't go, but it was really, but I do hike in like the cold all the time. And I do, you know what I mean?
Psycho.
Yeah, but it's beautiful because how alive are you in that moment of struggle, you know?
And then you get to the top and see like this beautiful view.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm up because I just did this.
We in here.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you went to sober living. You do all the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You still show up and do them. I happen to know that like you help a lot of women.
Yeah, I try. I try to help other women. It helps me, you know, not forget where I came from.
Yeah.
And like they say, you know, I give what was given to me. Like so for a long time when I was out there and like in the grips of my addiction, like women for me were like competition, and like they were I didn't trust women. I had a very hard time opening up with women, and like I go to treatment and like there's these I was gonna swear.
It's so hard not to.
Yeah. There's like these like powerful women like around me, and like they don't boast about like what they're doing and what they have. Like you just see it and like feel it. And like they literally like barely knew me and loved me until like I learned to love myself. And like for that, like that means the world to me. And like I want to be able to give that to other women who like don't love themselves yet.
You know what is like the craziest thing? So if you go into it with this motive, it's obviously selfish regard and you won't reap the universal benefits. But in my experience of, you know, helping women and making that a top priority and, you know, having an altruistic motive to it, to like literally just want to be helpful, the universe has abundantly blessed me.
Yeah.
And it's just like the more that I surrender to what my purpose is, the more beautiful my life gets and the more meaningful my life gets. And the more that I get to know myself on a deeper level and the more freedom that I get and the more comfortability I get in my skin to just be my authentic, crazy self, you know? All right. So you have a job now? You show up to work?
I do.
I don't believe it.
I mean, I'm still learning to adult.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Samesies.
I know I go to work. I show up for the most part. I'm late more than I would like to say, you know, but at least today I know that that's an issue.
You're one of those.
Yeah, it's a bad.
Oh,
it's
God.
so bad. Like, yeah, that's one thing that I like.
Sometimes I see your Facebook post like how rude I have to work today. I'm like, nope, that's life. That's not rude.
But
that's
it's
life.
rude that's life. It's so
you like
rude.
your paycheck?
Yeah, but it's like I shouldn't have to work to do nice things.
We've got a princess up here.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Well, I never really knew you like when you were out there. I had some experiences with you in some defiancy, but a lot of my experiences with you have been on the other end of this work, you know, and so I consider myself really privileged, you know, to be able to walk with you and to see you shine bright and all that you do and to watch you help other women and to be a pillar and to show up authentically and, you know, to see all of the success that you've had in your life, because that's what life's about.
Yeah.
You know, to just really be happy. We have one life. This is it. And like, it's my life. What am I going to do with it? you know, and I get to watch you shine bright. And it's really beautiful. Yeah, you do a lot of really good work. So there are people at home right now, you know, watching this show, and so we bring people on the show to share their experience, strength, and hope, not to glorify, but so people can connect. And so one thing for me when I was really struggling that I could connect, because I didn't know how to connect with the solution because I hadn't experienced that. But what I knew how to connect with was someone's pain and someone's suffering, because I can identify and feel that. So one thing that like I want to talk about real quick is like life prior to ever picking up a drink or a drug. What was life like for you?
All right. So I mean, I remember like being like a kid, you know, and I was too young to like understand really like how I felt or what was going on around me. You know, like I had certain circumstances in my life where like, you know, my mom was taken from me, or like my father was not very in my life, and like as a child, like you just want like your mom and dad, you know.
So feelings of abandonment.
Yeah, feelings of abandonment, like not valued, unimportant. I didn't feel like comfortable. I didn't feel safe. So like with that, I acted on a lot of behavior, and like sometimes I like to say like my first addiction was anger.
Yeah.
Cause like any emotion that I felt, like if I was fearful, if I was upset, if I was hurt, like I would act out in anger.
Yeah.
Because you know it got me attention, and like it was negative, but it was something. You know, like I didn't have my parents, so like I felt like I had to like work extra hard to like feel some sort of like oh my God, what's the word? Like not
validation,
I guess, but like when you like just
sense of relief,
notice somebody, like
validation.
I guess.
Notice me, look at me. Hey.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like I'm here too.
Hey, I see you.
Yeah, like so yeah, I would just like act out, and I knew you know what I could do to like act out like that. So I did a lot of that, and like a lot of my childhood and like middle school days, like even high school, like I literally like fought with everybody.
I believe one time I heard someone describe you as you woke up and chose violence.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day. Every day.
You would just wake up to choose violence.
Yeah, you know, like but that was like a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Because I was like fear of getting abandoned. I was fear of getting rejected. I was like fearful of success. I was fearful of losing, of like getting hurt and losing people, you know? So like I would just ruin all those things, or like not even give it an opportunity to arise. So like I knew I was safe because I was comfortable and like feeling the way I did, and like in my anger, you know, I didn't know other things. So I pushed people away and like self-sabotage, or like I intimidated people to where they didn't want to come up to me and form relationships for a long time. And then like finally I started hanging out with kids kind of like me and like doing drugs, you know what I mean? And that's where we like bonded, was like over drugs. Like when I started actually, I mean, like I started smoking weed and like drinking when I was like 11, 12 years old. But I started like experimenting with pills when I was like 13, 14, you know, and like finally felt like I like belonged somewhere. Like they talk about that, like I've arrived moment, and like that was it for me. Like I finally
So like going into high school, you were doing drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like at that point,
isn't it so crazy when you like look back on high schoolers now? You're like, you're so little.
I know. I look at high schoolers now, and I'm like, these little, and
I was
like
smoking crack when I was your age.
Yeah, but I think I'll see 14-year-olds now, and I'm like, what are you doing? Go home. Why are you out walking the streets? But like I was.
Meanwhile, you were heinous.
Wilding out. But yeah, and like so for a long time. Cause like I was so conditioned about like, you know, cause I was the worst. So like I was always in trouble, you know what I mean? Like always with confrontation, like my mom was always mad or like upset with like all reason. But like, so for a long time, like I knew what I was doing, like I shouldn't have been doing. So like I hid it for a long time with enough time for it to like finally get like out of hand. Cause like no one knew.
The drugs.
Yeah.
In high school.
Drugs, yeah.
So you were still acting out behaviorally. So that like took the primary attention, and you had the substance use disorder going on in the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. and like no one really knew, like obviously just like my group of friends. But my mom worked a lot, so that way she could provide, you know,
Mhm.
for me. So she wasn't really home a lot, and like that's not her fault. She just wasn't able to really see what was really going on, you know, because she was out there working for us. So yeah, I just like I had a lot of time to myself to get wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you're in high school, you're doing drugs, because I mean you didn't get sober for a long time after that. So like what
Yeah.
happened?
So like finally um I think it was like my mom that pushed me because I never
Before you tell me how you got sober, I want to know what happened in that long period of time.
wait. Like
From
just
high school to 30s.
oh.
She can't remember.
Yeah, it's a blur. I literally just like
She just forgot 15 years of her life.
yeah, literally. It was
Oh,
just like
God.
out
Keep
running.
coming.
Yeah, literally. Like I have to, cause yeah. I don't remember much of it. And I think like a lot of that has to do with like my own healing. But yeah,
Yeah.
like it was just, you know, the usual like experimenting or qualifying. I was just out there like using. Like
For
I
15 years, did you ever experience any legal consequences?
yeah.
Okay, what
Yeah,
were they?
like in and out of jail. I was on probation for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of probation violations. But like nothing crazy, just like minor stuff like that.
Okay. Did you experience homelessness?
Yeah, I experienced homelessness. I got a DUI, lost my license for a while.
You just like recently got it back, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
If Victoria can do it, anyone can. All right, so you had a lot of consequences going on in there. So your life really spiraled.
Yeah.
So it turned into a lot more than just being like using drugs in school. You
Yeah.
have 15 years of using drugs, not being able to manage your drug usage,
Yeah.
and suffering consequences due to that.
And like no matter what how heavy the consequences were, like it still didn't stop me.
Yeah.
Like I still would not stop using.
And so one day mom confronted you.
I mean, it was just like I caused enough pain in my household to where like my parents were fighting over me. Like no one wanted to be around me for a long time. Like they kind of just like tried to love me while I tried to figure it out. And like a part of me thinks like they were kind of losing hope and was like, I think this is just like what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and things started like they started acting very differently. But like I'm glad, you know, like my mom started like she stopped like enabling me. And like, you know, for a long time, she never like really gave me money, you know, for like drugs. But like if I needed cigarettes, like she would give me cigarettes, you know what I mean? Or like if I needed somewhere to go late at night, she would let me, you know what I mean? All those things to where like I knew like mom would be there if I needed. And like she stopped doing those things. And like like even the friends that I was getting high with didn't want to be around me anymore. Like that's a problem. Like, so like finally I just like decided to like give rehab a shot. And like I thought I was ready, but I was never willing.
Yeah.
So it never worked out for me.
Yeah.
I resisted, it kicked and screamed the whole time.
So you wanted to get sober, but you didn't want to take the action of the suggestions that were being given to you.
Yeah. Like I knew I had to change like my views and attitudes on everything. And like I wasn't willing to yet.
And so the end result for not being able to do that, was
I got kicked out of treatment for the last time. I felt a lot of pain because at that point I had finally got a seed planted about the steps and like saw that there was like a better way of life out there. So like I went back out for like only a few days and I felt a lot of pain and realized like I didn't want to live like that anymore. And like I wanted a life full of substance.
not drugs.
Yeah, not drugs. I know, I thought about that after you said that.
I knew what you meant.
But like, you know, like just an actual life. Like I had missed
Yeah.
out on so much in my family. Like they would talk about things and I'd be like, when did that happen? And they'd be like, oh, you were here. Like you were there. Like you weren't here for that. Like I just missed out on so much and like had no meaningful relationships in my life. I had nothing real in my life. I had nothing to like live for in my life anymore. Like, and drugs were no longer my solution. Like they weren't doing anything for me anymore. So like I knew it was time to do something.
And what'd you do?
I went back to treatment. And like I said, I did all the things that
Hold
I
on.
was told to do.
Were you welcomed back to treatment?
I don't think I was welcomed back at Granite, but Process didn't know me, so they let me come.
What I was trying to get at is that like you were loved on. You know, and like it doesn't matter how many times, and I guess what I'm trying to get at is for any viewers that are watching that are like, well, I've done that, or I've tried that, or like that didn't work, or no, like, you know, we're gonna love you. You know, you're gonna come back. We're gonna love you. It's okay. We get it. I didn't get sober to my 9th treatment center.
Yeah.
You know, we get it. We understand. So you went back to treatment. You were welcomed to treatment.
Yeah. I was welcomed into treatment with open arms. None of these women like knew me. And like I felt right at home, and that was like foreign to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I never really felt like I had a place anywhere unless it was like causing havoc.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? There was just like, there was like a different kind of havoc. Like everyone's just like a hot mess, but like they're trying to like just get better. And I was like, I can work with this. Yeah, like I can work with this.
That is literally, I've never heard it described so perfectly.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I can do this here. But yeah, it was like weird. Like immediately I just like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like the psychic change and I was unaware of it at the time, but I literally just went in there just so open and willing and like just willing to like meet everybody, talk to everybody, not like judge ones or like see where like the kids causing trouble are and going out with them. Like I literally opened up to everybody. And like vulnerability is like a hard thing for me.
Yeah, it's
and, like,
gross. It's
so
disgusting.
gross.
So yuck, dude.
Yeah,
People
now I'm
wanna
like
do nice-
sensitive and stuff. I'm like, who are
Dude,
you?
you know what I hate when people want to do nice things for me? I'm like, get away.
Ah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Don't be
"Oh."
nice.
Yeah, don't be nice. I don't like it.
So,
But
some wounds are deeper than others.
still working on those. Still working on those. But yeah, like that's another thing that was really crazy to me. I opened up right away.
Yeah.
And like to pretty much like everybody.
Yep.
Like it's something I'm really thankful for because that took me far. Because I feel like a lot of that is with honesty. I just shared where I was at every day, all day. No matter what that looked like, good, bad, or different. And finally, like after, like, you know, I would talk about it and like do things and realize where I was lacking and like finally was okay. You know, and like I never felt that before, but that was because I never opened up.
So community is huge for you.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a large support network.
I do.
Yep. You have fun.
Yeah.
You do.
I do. I have lots of like I talk about it all the time. I'm like, dude, I laugh more now than ever. You know, like, and it's a beautiful thing. Like now, I could never even think about you know, using a mind altering substance. Like I just have fun, like just like this.
You manage a sober house?
I do.
What is that like?
I do. It's definitely like rewarding in the sense of like I come home and like it's just like a bunch of like beautiful women that like greet me like right when I come home every time. Like we laugh. They feel comfortable enough to like come talk to me about things, and like those are the things that like mean the most to me because I know like how important it is to be able to have someone like that in your life, especially when you're not used to that for so long and like not trusting others. Like I'm glad that like I have a house full of like beautiful women that like have like trust in me to where like I can be their go-to.
What does self-care look like for you? No, I was just asking because I know people in recovery struggle with it. So
I'm struggling so
oh,
bad.
I didn't mean to. Okay.
Should I not say that?
No. Be honest. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Like, look at, you're struggling and you're still staying sober. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have to find, I got to work on that because for me, like my self-care will be helping others.
Yeah.
But then eventually, like I'll get burnt out and like.
I got really burnt out doing
that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like eventually, like sometimes I'll get to a point where like, I'm not working on myself or like doing self-care on myself. So like I don't want to do those things and help others. And I know that's not real.
Yep.
Because that's very important to me. So I definitely got to find some balance with like some me time for sure.
So I asked that because I struggled with self-care, like significantly struggled with self-care for easily the first 4 years of my recovery, and even into like this year, the 5th year of my recovery, you know. And I would say probably only more recently have I realized that I need to be the priority.
Yeah.
You know, like this is my life and I only got one. And the first 32 years of it were spent doing drugs.
Yeah.
So,
right.
like,
right.
I got to really pull it together because I spent half my life getting high. So I got only half my life to achieve my dreams.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, like I've wasted so much time. Like the other day I was looking up what for like going to school, and I wanted to do, I think it was criminal psychology, to where you like study and work with serial killers. It takes like 10 years of schooling. I'm like, well, I'm already like 30, so by the time I'm like done schooling, it's gonna be I'm gonna be like 40
you
years
should
old.
reach out to like the school and go in and meet with someone.
Yeah, no, I definitely do want to get back into school.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You should do that, especially because like you live in sober living right now, so like it might be easier before you. For me, I wish that I had took advantage of those things back when I lived in sober living, because like now that I live out independently on my own, I have so many more responsibilities.
Yeah.
So many more.
Yeah.
The show goes by quick. Are you still nervous?
No, I'm not.
Was it scary?
Honestly, I think it was just the anticipation, because as soon as I sat down and we started talking, like that went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone else in the future that's going to come on, do you want to tell them how scary it is?
It's really not. It's all in your head. Just pray about it. You'll be good.
Yeah, don't make it about you.
Yeah,
right?
it's not about us.
So for anyone that is watching right now, whether they're struggling with substance use disorder, they have a loved one struggling with substance use disorder, they want to educate themselves on substance use disorder, just like anything, what do you have to say to just anyone watching the show?
I mean, honestly, just reach out. Don't be scared to talk about where you're actually at, and get honest about that. And anyone here is like more than willing to help somebody struggling. Like that's what we do here. So if anybody is struggling, like anyone here, or anyone that you know that is in recovery will come to you if you call.
Yeah, it's our purpose, right?
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You did great.
Thanks.
You didn't even ruin the entire show.
You're cutting some stuff out, right?
No.
You have to.
No, we're keeping the embarrassing stuff.
No, you can't, Jasmine.
As always, thank you guys for sharing your time with us. If anyone wants to get connected with Victoria or any resources or anything that she had to say, you know, instilled some hope in you, please reach out to us on our Facebook page. I'm a heroin addict. Go ahead and send us a message, and I'd be more than happy to link you up with her. As always, we love you and have a great night.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.